I don't believe what I just saw.
This is one of the great moments in the history of baseball.
I believe in miracles. Yes!
Is this the dagger?
December 22nd. Today, the biggest winner in team sports gets his first as a pro. Al Pacino would like just 1 or 2 more inches. Oh. The Knicks make yet another terrible hiring decision. A couple of legends grab their golden balloons. The Golden Brett reaches rare air. The Cardinals choke away one of their few good seasons. And the story of an NBA player who also did the halftime show during games. So much bounty, so much booty, and much more buried treasure that only we have the map to on this edition of This Day in Sports.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow, that was a treasure.
I've had a little bit of time to...
that was great because, this is we're in the holidays now. This is it.
This is
Getting ready for it.
is the holiday.
Happy ho-ho.
I was told to dress up for the holiday party, and I did.
So did I.
Yep. Well, no, not really. So I dressed up. I wore this as a tribute to you, Matt. If those just listening, it's a blank baseball cap.
No logo.
No logo.
Say bright red.
Bright red.
Logo free.
A friend of mine calls this the plain red ball cap is Captain America in disguise.
Right.
You watch a Marvel movie, it's like I got to go to the art gallery.
Yeah,
and he puts on a hat. It's like no one can recognize Captain America now.
Can't see his hair.
And this jacket. It's all Christmas, guys.
So this is the Christmas or the holiday episode.
Sure is,
Yeah, December 22nd.
Okay, I forgot.
And you know what? It's always a holiday here at Cabin.
Oh, yeah.
Cabin Barber and Gentleman Supply. This is where we record from. We are here in the Port Credit / Mississauga location. 2 more locations, of course. In Toronto, you can go to Union Station. You can go to the Queen's Quay. You get yourself a cut. Get yourself a shave. Generally just get yourself an awesome look. Because Cabin is the place to be. They have everything you want. They got haircuts. They got beard trims. They got this one has a stuffed pheasant or 2 on the wall. But you can get yourself lots of things for the holiday.
Old
Listen,
skates.
It's not too late. If it's December 22nd, you got to get a Christmas gift.
Yep.
You roll on down to Cabin for the gentleman in your life. You get yourself a belt. You get yourself a hat. You get yourself what else you need?
Socks.
New
buckles.
underwear.
Underwear. Yep, that's right.
Hatchet.
Yeah, oil for your beard.
Yeah.
Oil beards.
Yeah, oiled beards.
Snowshoes.
Yeah, snowshoes if you want. Yep.
Pillows.
Yep, all sorts of stuff. Ball caps, great ball caps.
Great ball caps.
That's a good
You
chance.
could get a whole new identity.
Yeah.
If you wanted to become a new person, just leave your life behind.
Yeah.
Come down here, get a new look.
Yep.
All new clothes.
Well, truthfully, the gentleman who owns Cabin, Louis Manzo, has an entirely new identity.
Really?
Yeah, he went from corporate executive to Papa Smurf. He has a giant white beard now. He looks totally different. Frank, back me up. He changed his identity completely. Amazing. And guy smells amazing, by the way, Matt.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
So check out one of Cabin's 3 locations, including this one we're at right now. Get a cut, get a shave, get a ton of compliments when you get that Cabin Fresh look. For more, check out cabinforlife.ca here for the holidays. What do you think of that?
I think that was really good. That was also very, very nice.
Yeah, pleasant.
Pleasant.
Like a crackling fire on a nice winter morning.
That's right.
We'll pull up a chair next to the fire,
Yeah.
and we're going to tell you what happened on December 22nd.
December 22nd, This Day in Sports. Go for it, Matt.
In the year 1996, in the final game of the season, Green Bay's Desmond Howard had 84 punt return yards to set a new NFL record for the most in a season with 875 punt return yards. He added 200 more punt return yards in Green Bay's 3 playoff games that season, helping them win the Super Bowl for the first time in nearly 30 years. That's a lot of punt return yards in a season.
Oh, yeah.
875.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. And also, he is a Heisman Trophy winner, Desmond Howard.
Yes, you'll see him in those Heisman commercials they have on right now with George is in there, Eddie George is in there.
That season kind of saved his NFL career, too.
Yeah.
He was kind of a Heisman bust, and then the Packers kind of resurrected him as a returner, and he was very valuable to them. But he was almost out of the league before that.
Yep.
Can we even say Heisman bust? Like, so many Heisman winners don't.
Yeah, no.
Go, I guess you can say it. Yeah,
it's
you
certainly
should.
not a guarantee of anything.
No,
definitely not.
1949. In his 13th game as a Celtic, Tony Lavelli scored 26 points as Boston beat the Minneapolis Lakers. At halftime, the versatile Lavelli treated the 5,200 fans at Boston Gardens to an accordion mini concert.
Wow.
One of about 24 such performances he gave around the league that season, for which he was paid a handsome $125 a shot by the NBA. He played them in full uniform because he never had time to go back and change his clothes. And a year later, Lavelli signed with the Knicks so that he could be closer to Juilliard, where he studied music while playing basketball games at night. He retired from the NBA in 1951 at age 25 and went on and embarked on a career as a songwriter and nightclub performer.
Fantastic.
Isn't that cool?
Fantastic.
That's a neat story.
There's a few of those guys who did that sort of moonlighting as musicians as well. Denny McLean was one, the pitcher for the
Really?
Tigers. He was he played the organ. So he would do night. He would go and do at night. He'd go out and do shows where he played his organ and entertained the crowd, piano, organ, the whole thing.
Organ shows.
Yeah. And he did like nightclubs in Vegas
Right.
and whatever he traveled, and that the guys in the team were always like invited out, and they're like, I guess we're gonna go see Denny
Then he played the
play
organ.
the organ, and pretty successfully, I think, in the
Wow.
Detroit
Really?
area. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a simpler time,
A simpler time,
where you could go
definitely.
see an organ show.
Yeah, who was the pitcher who sang the national anthem just this past
Adam
year?
Wainwright.
Yeah, Wainwright. So
And Bernie Williams is an amazing classical guitarist.
I feel
he's-
like there's a draft
He's a
in here.
genuinely...
No bullshit. I got that CD from my mom one year for Christmas.
no, no.
Yes, I did. I swear to God. I was like, "What is this?" She's like, "You like Bernie Williams, like baseball?" I'm like, "I hate the Yankees," and she's like, "Well, he's a great guitar player."
And I
It was a great album.
But I
thought-
love classical guitar.
but it was the wrong time in my life for it.
I
Let's
thought
just
you
say.
said you got it for your mom.
No,
you
I got it from
your
my mom.
I thought you were like,
No, I
my
didn't
mom
buy
was
my.
gonna-
I didn't buy my mom a Bernie Williams classical, but it was like totally like the 12-string like classic,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ding, 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 like
Yeah.
classical gas kind of
That's
music.
right,
you know?
Yeah.
Bernie was my Christmas present that year. But I'll tell you what my present is for you today, friends. 1942, December 22nd, 1942, with the first overall pick of the NFL Draft, the Steelers selected University of Virginia halfback Bill Dudley. Dudley ended up being the only player from that draft that went on to a Hall of Fame career. He was named NFL MVP in 1946, led the league in rushing yards twice, and was the first team All-Pro 4 times. He missed the 1944 and 45 seasons to serve in the U.S. Air Force in the Pacific before returning to play 8 more seasons as Bill Dudley.
Bill Dudley.
Yeah.
1996. That was my last one. Was 1996 too. So this is the same year as
Busy year.
Desmond Howard. Yeah.
Double shot.
Double shot. 1996, St. Louis Blues winger Brett Hull. He scored the 500th goal of his NHL career during a 7-4 win over LA at the Kiel Center. Hull actually had a hat trick and an assist in the game. It was Hull's 801st NHL game, making him the 5th fastest to reach 500. Hull still ranks as 5th all-time in career goals with 741.
Yeah, he
Which-
played in exactly the right era to score a ton of goals.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Is Hull
One-timer.
underrated or overrated or just perfectly rated?
I actually think he's perfectly rated because I think every time, just like I did, when you talk about how many goals he scored, everyone says, well, it was just the era. Like, it was the one-timer. It was the offense was so on the rise in that era. That's when you'd have all-star games that were like
That was right around
14
the
to 12.
time. That was around the
dumb-
time of McGillney and Solani
Yeah.
both had 76, was
Yeah.
it? And
Yeah,
then-
yeah.
It's the one-timer guys. It's these
Yeah.
guys in the wing and get that set up and they just blast it. It's
Right,
like
right.
it was like a
Yeah.
video game at that time.
I think he's underrated.
Yeah.
I think like when you look at what he's done and the numbers and how he's always had to work for it, you know, he was eligible for like 2 NHL drafts that he didn't get picked in before.
Yeah.
I think, you know, and he was sort of like passed over and
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe because of his name, nobody thinks of him as being an underdog, but
yeah, maybe.
He was really, really disliked though when he played
Yes.
for Team USA.
What was that, Frank?
yeah.
He didn't play a 200-foot game? You mean his defense wasn't all there?
I don't think.
Yeah, no,
I think
fair.
he played a 19-foot game.
Frank, is your
Fair.
mic on? Because
I don't think it is,
We need,
Frank.
Mike, we need you a little louder. What
Yeah.
are you over
Yeah,
here?
I think you got to play a
Here.
200-foot game, Frank. that-
Are you 4?
Yeah,
Give Frank a little boost there.
Hi there.
There he
we
is.
go.
There's
I got
Frank.
it, yeah.
200-foot game.
200-foot
Frank
game.
Russo.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Hull was passed over for a Canadian team. Maybe it was in junior, something
He-
like that.
I think you're
and then,
correct about
And then the
that.
Americans took him, so he
Yes.
was like, okay, so now I'm going to be.
You're probably right.
And maybe I can understand.
But it was
that to a
because
certain degree.
he did play really that Canada Cup or the World Cup of hockey, is it 96 whatever it was, where the US won.
Yeah.
It-
Okay.
He was a big factor in the Canadians losing, so
Yeah,
that didn't make it any better.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Solve that.
Okay.
So he got his 500th goal.
Thank you.
And Mike, underrated, overrated, perfectly rated.
I think he's perfectly rated. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Frank?
I think he's a little underrated.
Okay, yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nobody
No one
thinks
thinks
he's
he's
overrated.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay. All
interesting.
right, that's interesting.
Mike, what you got?
1998, Juventus midfielder Zinedine Zidane won his first and only Ballon d'Or as the best player in Europe. A native of France, Zidane became the highest paid player in football for most of the next decade. He is the only player ever to win the World Cup and Euro Cup and be named the best player in both events. And he won the most FIFA Player of the Year awards in history, 6 of them. How about that? But I think he only won the Ballon d'Or once.
Sure. But polarizing figure, I'm going to say.
Well, the headbutt
Didn't help.
became infamous, yeah.
Yeah. But when he was playing on that Madrid team, Real Madrid, and when you're watching the Beckham doc, they don't talk a lot of him, but he was pretty popular, and that was the good days for him.
He did dominate.
Yeah.
There was years where he dominated. He was the best
The
player.
Real Madrid
Yeah.
year.
I mean, 6 times he won the FIFA best, which is
it's just the
no
headbutt
one else
was-
has done that.
But he's a good coach, and he's come back
Oh, he's
around.
coaching?
yeah.
for years now. Yeah.
You know, in 1956, after missing the
I
first,
like when you begin with,
Yeah,
like you're
friends.
just, like you just
Y'all know.
off the top of your head.
I was just thinking about 1956. After missing the first 24 games of the season due to his commitments to the U.S. Olympic team, rookie center Bill Russell made his NBA debut tonight at the Boston Garden. He scored 6 points and had 16 rebounds during a Celtics win over St. Louis. Russell won 11 championships in Boston over the next 13 years.
That was in the beginning credits who I claimed is the greatest winner in team sports.
That's
history.
completely fair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Yogi's there.
Yogi's probably second,
Yeah.
but Russell played 13 years in the NBA. He won 11 championships.
Yeah.
And he won 2 national championships in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. His championship percentage is pretty good.
That's the thing too. Is exactly that. Yeah. Didn't lose much.
13 out of 15 years you played organized, high level basketball. You won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Interesting thing about that is
Okay.
in 2013,
Okay.
the Cardinals defeated Seattle 17-10
Wait, that's not tied
at
in.
Century Link Field. The first home loss of Seahawks QB Russell Wilson's pro career. So this is the first home loss of his pro career. He had started 14-0 at home, which is amazing.
Yes,
Despite
it is.
in this game, despite Arizona QB Carson Palmer throwing 4 interceptions in the game versus the Legion of Boom defense, the Cards hung on for an ugly win. So the win gave Arizona a 10-5 record with 1 game left. It was just their second season with double-digit wins since the mid-'70s, but they lost a close game in the final week and missed the playoffs that year.
Still pissed it away.
It's still pissed
got
it.
rid of it.
Still after all that pissed away.
But they remember they were the Cardinals.
But
Yeah.
Russell Wilson starting off 14-0 at home is something I had forgotten that, or I don't know that I ever knew that. But
Well, that was
Uh,
the height of like that
Well,
like
that
the
defense was
12th man
14
and all that
yeah.
stuff, and yeah, unbelievable.
But you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Russell Wilson is perhaps my least favorite NFL player ever.
Wow.
But partly because he kicked the shit out of my team for the better part
Yeah.
of 10 years.
That's
Or
true.
maybe you're just a big Matt Flynn fan. Because this reminded me about Matt
Rick
Flynn.
Meyer, yeah.
So remember this, like in Matt Flynn was signed from Green Bay by Seattle. So there was that 2012 game or prior to that season. In the last game of the season for Green Bay, he started, Flynn did, and he threw for 480 yards and 6 TDs.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So Seattle signs him
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah.
And Russell Wilson comes out and steals the
Stole
job.
the job,
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't look back.
Yeah.
But I do remember that game, that 6 touchdown game. Everyone was
Yeah.
going crazy for that.
Yeah.
And like,
And then to get signed,
I-
like
you gotta
perfect
be-
timing.
one
You got to
game.
be careful.
Perfect
Yeah, you got to
timing.
be careful how much stock you put in the last game of the season.
that's
Yeah.
fair
You know what
enough.
I mean? It's like all those guys in the major leagues that come up for the last couple weeks this season and rip it up. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he's our new center fielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. They were playing. Nobody cared in the games he was playing
Yeah.
because they were out of it and nobody
Yeah.
gave a shit.
It's if they're playing, especially another team that sucks, it's like just put it over,
Just
man.
put it- just throw it over.
But if anyone's listening for gifts,
Yep.
Russell Wilson jersey for Mike.
Please.
Yes.
And in the bright neon green, too.
Oh no, I'm gonna get you a Broncos
Love-
jersey, man. Classic Bronco, Russell Wilson.
Great. Great.
Yes.
That'll help me start my Christmas fire. In 2003, in a move that set the team back for years, the Knicks hired Isaiah Thomas as general manager. His trade of several good
Oh,
enough said.
What a bad era.
I know. His trade of several good draft picks for Eddie Curry was a disaster. And by the end of the 05-06 season, New York had the highest payroll in the NBA and the league's second worst record. He even doubled down on himself, firing Larry Brown and appointing himself head coach for 2 wretched seasons as well. After 5 seasons with the team, 0 playoff wins, and an $11 million sexual harassment suit against him from a former Knicks employee, they finally fired him in April 2008. Now, I am a lifelong Detroit Pistons fan, and I will defend Isaiah Thomas as one of the great players of all time. Maybe I would not defend him as one of the great human beings of all time, or administrators, perhaps.
But
Well,
just think of
not
the
a great time in
coin he
Toronto
made
either.
During all those years
sure.
as an administrator,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because he was a great player. Like,
Yeah.
how
Oh, yeah.
sad.
Man.
And
He
he
and Michael Jordan are best friends, right?
Well, I mean, we could get into who the more
I was
psychotic
going to say,
person of those
yeah,
two
exactly.
is, but
Pick one of those two.
yeah, I don't think you'd want to be friends with either of those guys.
Do you remember how long you were in on him for? Like when you got off on, like when you wanted him fired?
Oh, I'm not a Knicks fan, so I kind of enjoyed him being terrible at it. That wasn't a bother. I just, when I was a kid growing up, he was my favorite player.
Sure.
He is his performance in the 88 finals in the third quarter with that leg is the greatest. People talk about that's the greatest performance I've ever seen in a basketball game.
Yeah.
But
Did his coaching legacy hurt that at all for you?
I think
or
the
management?
perception of Isaiah post-career is not good.
Yeah.
Like the sexual
Oh, so-
harassment
yeah.
thing, the failures. I think he did okay as a coach in Indiana for a couple years. They were okay. They weren't terrible.
Yeah.
But that Knicks thing was quel disaster.
Oh, fucking horrible.
Yeah.
2006. Now playing with the Blackhawks, Peter Bondra scored the 500th goal of his NHL career during a 3-1 win over Toronto at the United Center. It was the final season of his 17-year pro career, and Chicago was his third team in 3 years. It took him 1,050 NHL games to reach the milestone, and he retired with 503.
Well, he just got there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes forgotten, Peter Bondra.
He was a fun player to watch.
You know what, though? I feel like that's going to come back.
Yeah, we're gonna
That little factoid.
that little factoid, Peter Bondra.
It's going to figure in our draft.
It is
today.
going to figure in. It's going to inspire
Yeah.
our draft.
That's right.
Yeah.
2019, Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas had 12 receptions during a 38-28 win over Tennessee and Nashville. The big day gave him 144 receptions that year, breaking Marvin Harrison's single-season NFL record of 143, set 17 years earlier. Thomas also had 1 game left to play, so he finished that season with 149 catches, the record.
Still the record, too, even
Yeah.
with the 17-game season.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Cup had 145 in 2021, so I think it'll be broken.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
no,
But
I'm sure that'll be.
the way they throw the ball now, but yeah.
I mean, maybe even Keenan Allen had a shot before he got hurt. And
Yeah.
1999, Any Given Sunday, a film directed by Oliver Stone starring Al Pacino, Jamie Foxx, Dennis Quaid, Cameron Diaz, James Woods, and LL Cool J, was released in theaters today. The movie was a depiction of a fictional pro football team, the Miami Sharks. It was partly based on a novel of the same name written by former NFL defensive end Pat Toomey. It also features cameos from former NFL stars like Johnny Unitas, Emmitt Smith, Warren Moon, Barry Switzer, Dick Butkus, and Terrell Owens. It was a hit, grossing over $100 million on a budget about half that, but it only has a 52% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's the 52? 52%?
52%.
Yeah, but I like that movie is. I think it's candy.
It's an easy watch.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx is Willie Beeman, classic Willie Beeman. He keeps the ladies creaming.
no,
Yep.
no.
And all my fans are screaming.
Yeah. Both those things are in the song. That's correct. And it
You
does have...
you gonna defeat me? You dreaming?
There you go.
Oh,
and it also has the great...
You brought it home with you.
The great speech, the Pacino speech.
Yeah.
That everybody, I saw a little clip, Jamie Foxx talking about that speech that Pacino knew nothing about football.
Oh, really?
And knew nothing about coaching. And Jamie Foxx, he was having trouble with the thing. And Jamie Foxx claims in this little clip I saw that he went up to him and said, most of these men who play football at this level, the coach is the father figure to them. So try saying it like you're these men, young men's father. And apparently in Jamie Foxx's version of it, it worked. And Pacino kind of latched on to something that gave him a real vigor for a couple of takes. That was what they ended up using in the movie.
That's pretty good.
It is a great speech.
Yeah, it is a great speech. I think the relationship
Frank doesn't buy it though.
with
I
Dennis
didn't buy
Quaid
it so
having to
much that I
continue
haven't
to play
even
is
seen the movie.
great.
Oh right.
As soon as I saw Pacino, I'm like, that's not.
He wasn't happy.
It's not totally realistic. Let's just say
No.
1974, Bruins star Phil Esposito scored his 500th goal of his NHL career during a 5-4 Boston win at the Gardens. The Gardens, as Mike has written in here.
Yeah.
At the time, he was just the 6th player ever to reach 500, and he did it in the fewest games played yet, 803. Phil Esposito, still cranking.
Now Phil Esposito probably underrated.
He could be underrated, and he's a huge part of the Tampa Bay Lightning legacy too. Now his statue is right out there outside of the arena. I really like Phil Esposito. I think
he's a great guy too.
Great guy, nice guy. I love the story of being in. I might have told this podcast before, but when he was in Sault Ste. Marie, he becomes the star, and so kids would come to the house in Sault Ste. Marie, and eventually because his parents would always answer the door and talk to the kids, and Phil put this stack of autographed pictures there one Christmas or something, and just said, just give them to the mom, just give them to the kids. So they would just give out pictures of Phil signed. And Tony tells a story. One time he came home, the kids all knock on the door, and they're like, "Can we get Phil's autograph?" And Tony's like, "What?" And he's like, "Your mom has a stack of them." And so Tony Esposito's just handing out his brother's autograph. No one's asking for his autograph. They're just handing out the photo. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it might be time for some quick hits.
Let's do it.
Well, I got one more.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry, Mike.
That's just because Matt's out of material. you just
Yeah, I still got one too.
more.
Oh, do you?
Sandy
Do
has
I
one
have
too.
them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You want me to do that one I got left?
Sure.
Yeah.
You do it. I'll do mine. I'm gonna do mine.
Okay, 2003, one day after his father had passed away, Packers quarterback Brett Favre started a game versus the Raiders in Oakland on Monday Night Football. Favre's performance became one for the ages. He threw 4 touchdown passes for 399 yards in a 41-7 Packers win, even earning him applause from the Raiders fans, who are noticeably difficult to please. Favre flew directly to Mississippi after the game for his father's funeral. He won an ESPY award for his performance in this game a few months later. I do remember watching
I
that.
remember
That was
watching it too.
Pretty
Yeah,
amazing night.
It was.
And I was not Brett Favre's biggest fan, but he was amazing.
Well, this is still impressive. It's not about a dead father. But in 1992, AC Milan striker Marco van Basten won his 3rd career Ballon d'Or as the best footballer in Europe. A native of the Netherlands, the Dutch team or my team. He won all 3 of his awards in a 4-year span, all while playing for AC Milan. This guy at his height was so good. Decent coach, great player. If you ever want to go back and see some highlights of Marco van Basten play, that the height of the Dutch football at the time was late 80s into the early 90s when they won the Euro Cup. Well worth it.
He is one of the great players just before football really came across the continent here, right?
It's very true.
Beckham was, and all those guys, like, people know that he just predates that, but he is as good as anybody we know now.
Oh man, yeah,
Like,
he
just unbelievable
big goals
player.
at big times.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, Matt, quick
Hits,
All right,
Matt.
quick
We're ready
hits.
now.
1985, Washington running back Gerald Riggs carried the ball 39 times for 158 yards in the final game of the season. It was a 16-10 win over New Orleans. Riggs finished with 397 carries that year, the most ever in a season by a player who did not fumble once.
Wow.
Ooh.
Almost
Incredible.
400 times. This is great in December. We do so much football. 1977, American Roscoe Tanner was defeated in 5 sets by New Zealand's Chris Lewis in the first round of the Australian Open. He became the first defending champion in Aussie Open history to lose in the first round of the next year. And it was the only Grand Slam tournament Tanner Roscoe ever won in his career.
Tanner Roscoe, a quick hit. Quick hit! 1995, Brewer Anheuser-Busch agrees to sell the Cardinals for $150 million to an investment group that agrees to keep them in St. Louis. The price tag was the second highest price for an MLB club in history at the time. $150 million. That is nothing.
Literally.
Players are worth quadruple.
That's right.
That's
Like it's
basically-
hilarious, isn't it? That's
Whoa.
not that long ago.
No, not at all.
No, Anheuser-Busch is regretting that sale.
Jeez.
Quick hit. 2009, Nebraska defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh was named the first defensive player in history to be named College Football Player of the Year. Wait, he was the first defensive player in history to be named College Football Player of the Year by the Associated Press. He remains the only D-man to ever win the award, Ndamukong Suh.
Did he ever do anything controversial?
Quick hits! I'll just keep moving. Okay. Quick hit, 2016. During a 3-1 loss to the Bruins, Florida winger Jaromir Jagr assisted on an Alexander Barkov goal, giving him 1,888 points in his NHL career, breaking a tie with Mark Messier to put him into second place all time. Just under 1,000 points less than Wayne Gretzky.
Wow. Ooh. Quick hit. 2013, Denver QB Peyton Manning. Yes, Denver QB Peyton Manning. Threw 4 TD passes during a 37-13 win over the Texans to give him 51 on the season with 1 game remaining, breaking Tom Brady's previous NFL record of 50 in 2007. Manning finished with 55 that year, which remains the NFL's single-season record. Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Oh. Should we move on to birthdays, or are you still feeling the hits?
Okay, we're moving. Matt, you got a dinner reservation?
No, all right, we'll do another round of hits.
Yeah.
We got another round of hits.
We got another round of
1990, Pittsburgh defenseman Paul Coffey had an assist during a 4-3 win over the Islanders on Long Island. That gave him 1,000 points in his NHL career. He became just the second defenseman ever to reach the milestone after Potvin. He has since been joined by 6 other defensemen on the list. But Coffey remains the fastest to reach 1,000 by far at 770 games. More than 2 seasons worth of games faster than Ray Bourque.
Quick hit, 1969. During a road game at Oregon State, LSU guard Pete Maravich set an NCAA men's basketball record by making 30 of his 31 free throw attempts during a Tigers win over the Beavers. At the end of his senior season that year, Maravich was the leading scorer in college basketball history. He averaged over 44 points a game before the advent of the three-point basket or the shot clock.
I'm dumping into birthdays.
Yeah.
All right. Happy birthday, 1862, Hall of Fame. Philadelphia A's
That's our furthest
manager.
back one yet. Yeah.
Connie Mack. Hello, Connie Mack in East Brookfield, Massachusetts. He was born in a suit. 3-piece suit. Yeah. High collar.
1949. Hall of Fame Oakland Raiders punter Ray Guy was born in Swainsboro, Georgia. Gotta love the punters.
You do love the punters.
You got a lot of punter content.
Yeah.
1944, Hall of Famer, 4-time Cy Young winner Steve Carlton, born in Miami, Florida.
You ever said anything controversial? Oh, 1972, 4-time Stanley Cup winning winger Kirk Mulby in Guelph, Ontario.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out Guelph.
December 22nd, 1954, 16-year New York Rangers defenseman, 5-time All-Star Ron Greschner was born in Good Soil, Saskatchewan. What a great name.
Now, interesting tidbit, that town in honor of Greschner has been renamed Good Hair, Saskatchewan.
Come on.
That's not true, but it should be.
Thank you.
That guy had fantastic hair.
He did.
1964, Mike Jackson. Mike's least favorite fake baseball reliever ever was born in Houston, Texas. Should I tell this story quickly or no?
Is it worth it?
I don't know. I hate him because we play this. I played this computer. What's it called?
Dynasty League baseball.
Yeah. I did it for a little while. It's a computerized baseball, and one of my pitchers was Mike Jackson. And every game of that season, he blew a save. Like, I would be winning like 5-3, and he'd come in and give up 4 runs.
And in that season, his card was like, his ERA was like under 1.
Yeah.
Like, he was like unbelievable
the best
in real life.
reliever in the game that year. But
Killed your soul.
So I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. The nerds out there will love that.
Shout out Mike Jackson.
Absolutely. We have lots of fans. Brian Vaughn's out there listening.
Yeah,
He's a big fan of the nerd baseball.
Paul Lee.
Paul Lee. Friend of the show, Paul Lee.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that game also broke him in half. Hey, we talked about Peter Bondra. Yeah. Let's get into this draft. We've been challenged by a certain judge who we'll reveal later, I think. Yeah. This judge has said, look, I want you to go back to the 1990 draft. It's unbelievably filled with talent. I want the 3 of you to draft 3 separate starting lineups of players that were drafted in the 1990 NHL draft.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And we rolled the fake 3-sided dice, speaking of nerdy stuff. Yep. And I got first, Matt got second, Mike got third. Mike's upset, of course, but that's how it goes.
I'm going to make this work for myself.
So if you want to follow along, this is the 1990 NHL entry draft.
Yeah, all of the players we're going to pick were selected in the 1990 draft. It is our guest was correct. It is an astonishing collection of talent for one draft year.
Yeah. Loaded with
talent.
When
you listen to all these names, you're like, wow.
Well, I'm going to start it off.
Go ahead.
Okay.
This is going to be a wow for sure. At right wing, Jaromir Jagr. Or Jagr.
Never heard
of
him.
Jagr, first pick for me. I'm going to track this as well for everybody at home.
Thank you.
Where he was actually drafted in real life.
He was drafted 5th, wasn't he?
Is that, sir? Is that it?
I think so.
I don't have that information in front of me.
I'm going to try my best.
All right.
But that's, there we go. Jagr's kick it off.
All right. Matt?
I'm going to go second, and I'm going to take a goalie who I believe was taken 20th overall, and it's Martin Brodeur.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, 5th is correct on the Jaromir
Jagr?
Jagr. He's 5th pick in that draft.
Brodeur 20th.
And Brodeur is 20th pick in
Understood.
that draft.
Yes, sir. Okay. I am going to go then to defenseman, and I am going to take Sergei Zubov.
Yes.
Who was also, I don't know where he was drafted. I don't have that information.
Well,
85th.
85th.
how about that?
But I'm a little sad because I feel like we've done a lot of drafts, and I feel like I've taken Zubov in every one that he's been taken.
Yeah.
Matt, I don't need to remind you. You had your chance.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's not wrong. Okay. Well, I'm not a massive fan of this guy, but we recently did have a draft that included best Jets, so I'm going to go with Keith Tkachuk. Left winger Keith Tkachuk.
Amazing. All these guys.
Yeah.
Kachuk, eh?
Good
Okay,
breeder,
well,
too.
And
Good
Dave
breeder.
Dave
Good
Ellett,
breeder.
Dave Ellett, friend of the show, was on the show. I think he didn't really say much to Tkachuk, did he? I mean, did I miss anything? We kind of brought him up, and I
I
kind of
think he
said
put
that.
him on his team.
I
though.
think he was a fan.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he
Okay. I
was on
wasn't. I
board.
can't remember where he landed on him. I don't know if we talked about him a bunch.
Okay.
There he is.
Okay. Well, gosh, this is a tough one. But I think what I'm going to go ahead is this guy had 1,000 points, so I'm going to take a centerman. I'm going to take Doug Weight.
Yeah, sure.
He was
Doug Weight.
Doug
yes.
Weight. He was picked 34th overall, 1,000 points.
Nice
Keith
play.
Tkachuk was 19th, by the way. Doug Weight is 35th. You said overall.
34th.
34th.
Bro.
Okay. What the?
Did you say bro?
I just trying to
thought he
remember. No, I just trying to remember. I just want to go back to the Keith Tkachuk story to
Sure.
go back, but I remember that what was the trade that who was traded? It was the Sabres had him, right? The Sabres traded to get the draft pick. That was Keith Tkachuk. I thought what it was. Who was? I want to look this up because the Jets made a deal.
Take as much time as
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need.
this is important.
fascinating for everyone.
This actually
Yeah,
was
this is a
interesting
great
later
listen.
on.
Is this like in the Housley trade?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Was
I
the
think
Housley
it's the
trade?
Housley
Yeah.
Howard-Chuck
Because
thing.
I kind of forgotten about that, how that went down, but that was it. They
I
had
think
traded with the chance
he
to
was the
Tkachuk.
draft pick that went to Winnipeg with Housley.
Okay, that's
in
what it was.
exchange for-
Oh no, Howard-Chuck. It was a deal for Howard-Chuck. So the Sabres traded for Howard-Chuck. They traded the 19th
Isn't the
pick.
Howard-Chuck?
Isn't that the-
That's the same trade.
As Housley?
Yeah.
Is that the same trade?
Housley went
Whoa.
to Winnipeg in it. Yeah.
Well,
This
listen,
has been a great little run.
hey, we have to start taking side trails, guys.
Yeah, it's true.
Hey, yeah.
You're right.
And
Pack a lunch.
but that was what it was. Yeah, they traded. That was it. The Howard-Chuck trade and Tkachuk. So
We're at me again, right?
I believe that is
Not
true.
sure.
Yeah. Doug Weight.
I am going to stack my defense and take Darian Hatcher as well.
Wow.
You know,
That's a good strategy.
that was going to be my strategy if I picked third. If I didn't have a shot at Brodeur or Jagr, I was going to stack the defense.
That's so interesting.
Okay. Guys, something has to be interesting on this episode.
Yeah.
Guys, please.
Hatcher,
All right.
Say,
Hatcher,
do some-
Hatcher was actually, he went 8th.
Well, 8th pick overall, yeah. And you know what? I'm going to just jump in then
Sandy, do
and
something interesting.
make sure I got a decent goalie. I'm going to get Felix Potvin.
Yeah, you did.
Being a bit of a Leafs fan, I have to take Felix Potvin in this draft. And we was just a dear. Okay, well, I will say something interesting because I said I took a side. No.
Oh, boy.
Just out of just so people know. Are you guys curious? No, you know what? I'll hold on to this other than to say
Do you want to?
because Matt might get upset because he doesn't like when I say names that haven't been drafted yet.
okay.
Yeah,
But I
that's
will
true.
only say the goalies.
Okay.
The pre-draft ranking by the scouting was goaltenders. Second was Felix Potvin. Brodeur was third. Trevor Kidd was actually ranked number 1.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yeah. If
Well,
you want Trevor Kidd, he's out there. He was ranked.
Vancouver really thought he was going to be. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll talk about the players' rankings after we're done drafting because
Please.
it's interesting
And
to see
thank
that
you.
too.
Yeah.
Just not so fast, sir.
We'll do it once we turn the mics off. All right.
Great.
Matt.
Okay.
Oh wait, on the drive home we're going to do the interesting stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. 31st pick, by the way, Felix Potvin
Okay.
in the real draft.
Okay. So I'm gonna just jump in. We teased this guy earlier. He's a 500 goal scorer. I'm gonna take right winger Peter Bondra.
Peter Bondra. What was his pick?
He was picked 156th overall.
Oh, holy cow.
Wow.
Yes.
Holy cow, he's right.
And I'm bypassing the first overall pick to take him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. I am going to go with a center, and I'm going to take Keith Primo as my center.
Nice.
It's extraordinary. All these guys were in the same draft. We're not even done yet, but this is amazing.
So where was Primo picked? Does anybody have that handy?
I do not have it handy.
I do not.
Frank's looking those up. Frank, you should be on this. You're the fact checker.
Yeah.
Hey, fact checker.
I tried to find the Kachuk thing.
Oh, yeah, you're still working on
Gone
that?
down a road.
Yeah, sorry, that was
I will
my
get you
fault.
the Keith Primo info. You keep picking.
Okay, keep on rocking with this thing. All right, looking around, but positions I need. I'd better put a decent defenseman out there, possibly. Although this guy was pretty good on very good teams. I'll take Kozlov. Vyacheslav Kozlov from those great Detroit teams. That's gonna be my left wing.
Nice.
Right. Very good.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well, he's Russian.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah,
Mike,
wow.
please. These are things where the
Now-
mic is
now
off.
Mike's trying to get it fiery.
Get
Yeah.
the xenophobes going. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that they didn't have a left winger. I got scooped there.
It's embarrassing.
But I will.
Scoop. There it is.
Okay. I will dip into the defense and take he was drafted 7th overall, Daryl Sador.
Daryl Sador.
Sure,
There we go. Excellent.
I feel quite good about getting him this late in the draft.
That's
Well,
wow.
Great.
That is good stuff. I'm gonna take. I need a left winger. I'm gonna take Jeff Sanderson.
Jeff Sanderson. Okay.
I'm not, and also Keith Primo in that year drafted 3rd overall.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I've done something horribly wrong here. I have Sandy. I have you taking 2 left wingers.
I took Kozlov.
This is
Yeah.
great.
And I took Yager. So I have right wing.
Oh,
left
okay.
wing. Yeah.
So Mike, did you take Kachuk?
Oh God.
You took
Kachuk's left wing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Sanderson.
Well,
I didn't take Kachuk.
Who took Kachuk?
Matt,
I took Kachuk.
the point is he's gone. Let's try to.
Oh,
keep
because
this-
of Kozlov.
Yeah. So Sandy, you took 2 left wingers.
Okay, you can keep Sanderson. That's fine, unless you want to change it to Kozlov.
No, that's fine. I don't care.
All right. Okay. Okay, I'm going to keep the momentum
love of
going.
God.
I'm going to keep the momentum going in this draft. I'll grab Peter Nedved. I'll put a center in there, Peter Nedved. That'll be me. That'll be me. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Can't believe all these guys were all in this draft.
Kozlov got dumped back in the pile, Matt. You can have him. You didn't get scooped any longer.
Oh, okay. That's where I was confused.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick a defenseman. Actually, I'm gonna pick Yuri Slager.
Yuri Slager. Okay. There we go.
Okay. So I need
It's a weaker draft for
my
defenseman.
two-
Let's say that much.
both my 2 positions I have left. You guys have taken already. So I'm going to go near my hometown. He's not from my hometown, but he's from the small town that my father is from. Thorold, Ontario's own Owen Nolan.
Yes, the number 1 pick of that
Right
draft.
winger. Yeah, I got a number 1 pick and the number 3.
Fisherman.
All right.
Did you say Fisherman, Frank?
Fisherman.
And a fighter.
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna dive in here and grab a defenseman since I don't have one. I guess I got to pick 2 defensemen in a row because that's all I have left to take.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll take Yaroslav Modry. There
Sure.
it goes. Defensive is the weak link of this draft. Let's be completely honest.
For some of you.
Zubov is great, and then it kind of dips.
Oh, I think Sador's
Dips.
pretty great.
Yeah, but Zubov is like here.
Yeah, certainly.
Sador and Hatcher, I'd say, would drop here, and then from there it's a little bit of a cliff.
Slager.
It's a cliff.
Yeah.
Just wait till you see who I'm going to take last.
Okay.
I think he's my neighbor.
What do I guess I'll take Kozlov at left wing.
All right, Kozlov
Okay.
left wing.
Great story. And
And Mike, that was a quick pick.
No, it's good.
I didn't tell a story.
good- that's why
Just
I
take
said-
your pick. I don't
that's
need
why
no
I
lip
said
from
great
you,
story.
all right?
Yeah.
That's why I said great
I don't
story.
need. All right. Just
Yeah.
make your pick.
Wait, can we go back and check the order? Didn't no. My goalie's left. I take Roman Turek.
All right, Roman
Yep.
Turek. Excellent job, Mike. And Mike, this is the guy I was hyping you up about. Jason York. Jason York is going over to SJB.
Yeah.
That's the defense. So that, if you're looking at that at this point, has everyone's made their picks? now?
That's it.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. See,
Whoa.
I would have maybe gone Richard Schmelik there.
Schmelik.
Or Drake
Smellick.
Barahowski.
Smellick. Oh yeah. Yep.
Just confirming, Matt, you took Slager, right?
Yeah.
Yuri Slager, that's great. Has everyone got their positions all set to go?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.
Mike, you really wanted to get through that draft. It
Well,
pained you.
I'm not sure. It's, yeah.
I'm going to tell you what. Here's
Keeping it moving is probably a good idea.
but
so we can get to the discussion afterwards.
But I will break it down really quickly just as for the fans of the show. This was the pre-draft rankings by NHL Drafts. Their scouts, the drafts, the whole system. Mike Rieke was number 1. Undrafted with us, and obviously had a great NHL career. Olin Nolan was ranked 2, Keith Primo 3, Peter Nedved 4, Scott Sissons 5, Daryl Sador 6, John Slaney was 7, Ryan Hughes 8, Carl Dykhouse 9, and Darian Hatcher 10.
Wow.
Like,
So those weren't where
Yager is not in the top 10 in that group.
That's just
Broder's the 3rd ranked goalie, but it just shows you how you can get it wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
and it also shows you too. A lot of it depends on where you end up too.
That's
right?
very true as well.
If Brodeur ends up on the North Stars,
maybe it doesn't go that well.
I don't think it goes as well.
Matt, I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
We did a draft about the Jets and the Leafs, and who did we not pick? Alexei Zhamnov. Who was in this draft? Alexei Zhamnov.
He was my second ranked
77th pick.
Yeah, 70. Like after Doug Weight, I would have gone Zhamnov.
We're gonna have Jets fans pissed at us. Mike, what do you think? Doesn't care.
No, but I don't. Hey, I don't think anybody would take Zhamnov over Doug Weight.
No, I don't. I'm probably not, unless we're just like felt bad about the last time we didn't take Zhamnov. All right,
true.
Let's go to our judge. Let's see what he thinks of our 1990 draft picks. We've picked our teams from the 1990 NHL draft, which of course was flush with talent, and we have more talent coming into, of course, judge this particular draft. Ken Reid, which is this fabulous new book. It's just before Christmas. So I'm telling you, if there's someone on your list you forgot, there's your chance to go out and get Hometown Hockey Heroes. And Ken said, just read the bio from the back. That'll do for my intro. So I'll spice it up a little bit. Ken Reid's been adding his unique brand of humor and style to Sportsnet Central since joining Sportsnet in 2011. Can't believe it's been that long. Throughout his more than 20 years in sportscasting, he has covered the Olympics, the Stanley Cup Finals, the Grey Cup, and the Super Bowl. He is the best-selling author of Hockey Card Stories, True Tales for your favorite players, as well as 5 other books. I don't know how you have the time. A proud native of Pictou, Nova Scotia, Ken now lives in Toronto, Ontario, with his family. Ken, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. What's happening, boys?
Woo! Thanks for coming on, Ken.
We dove into that
problem.
1990 draft, as you challenged us to do.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah.
It kind of like at the same time as it doesn't seem that long ago, it seems like forever ago.
Yeah. You know what's funny, guys, is when we were kids and like the NHL old timers would come through town, you'd go, oh my God, that guy played in 1978 and this was like 1985. So think about how long 1990 is. That'd be like seeing a guy in 1988 that was drafted in 1952.
Yeah.
So as you get older, time gets longer and shorter. Does that make sense? So 1990 draft is a long time ago. It's a really long time ago.
Yeah. It really is. But they was stacked with talent. Some positions, of course, more than others.
Well, you know why the 1990 draft stands out to me so much is because that was the prime era of hockey cards, and that was the first year that they started showing the guys who got drafted on their hockey cards, right? Like I remember the Brad May rookie, the Yager rookie,
right,
all from the draft.
Yeah, and that's we were looking back at some basketball cards. I guess they're the hoops cards or whatever they were from around that era, and they had a whole series of photos of the guys getting the phone call that they got drafted. Like that was their in action. It was like Ogman's there, and he's got his t-shirt on and his acid wash jeans, and he's on the phone. That was their like in action shot.
Holding his rotary phone.
Yeah, on the landline. Grandma's rotary. Oh yeah, absolutely.
The fax came in.
When you think about it, then 1990 is kind of a long time ago. When you think about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely is. But they wanted to show off the phones in basketball, and at least hockey. I'm hoping was like the pictures were like they were in their minors or their juniors.
No, it was the just those. As soon as you get off stage, they put the sweater on. You come off stage, they snap a picture. So if you want to look at like an epic mullet, look at Brad May's 1990 score rookie. It's beautiful. And the truth is, he got a haircut the night before and took about 5 inches off. And like Owen Nolan's got his hat like with a straight beak sitting on his head like that. There's some good ones in there.
Nice.
I do love those photos because I'm sure the cards picked the best, but I love in the press when they put those photos out and you can clearly see the guy who didn't want to get drafted by that team. And then he's I'll put the hat on kinda.
Photo,
Well, Ken, this was a great draft, obviously, and we'll got to jump right in. And there's 3 teams that have been submitted to you. And so what I'll do is I'll just very quickly review for our audience some of these teams.
Okay.
So team 1 was Tkachuk, Nedved, Yager, Modry, York, and Potvin. Team 2 was Kozlov, Waite, Bondra, Sador, Slager, and Brodeur. Team 3, Sanderson, Primo, Nolan, Zubov, Hatcher, and Turek.
And you're not
those are the
telling me
three.
who drafted what team? Like I can't.
Well, we don't want any bias.
Personal bias here.
No, we don't want any personal bias.
Yeah, because you'll go with the East Coaster, even by marriage for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, probably.
When you jump into that right away, I mean, there are obviously like higher echelon, like as Mike often says, inner circle Hall of Famers that are in that list. So when you're looking at it initially, who are the big ones that jump out? Obviously.
Okay, so you guys are listing the teams here, and they're not in any order of the draft. I'm assuming Yager went number 1.
He did.
That's correct.
Yeah,
that is correct. Okay, so if Yager goes 1, wow, I'm trying to think of who would go 2 here. I'm thinking Martin Brodeur went number 2.
That's
Correct.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then by process of elimination, I'm thinking somebody went with Zubov at 3.
Nailed it.
Wow.
Wow,
Excellent
okay.
work. Yeah.
We bullseye so far, Ken. Yeah.
So I like it. You go with there's high end offensive talent, Hall of Fame goalie, and high end defensive talent. So that okay. I like how you guys are building your teams here. Okay, but yes, the 1990 draft was epic, and I remember like the top 5 was insane, and getting their hockey cards was insane. Everybody was so excited where Peter Nedved was going to go because he was kind of like this Gretzky clone. I think Yager went 5 because he was kind of under the radar a bit. Owen Nolan was 1. I remember that because he had to come have a cameo for the Halifax Citadels.
Yeah.
And and like it's funny because I swear to God I'm not looking at this, but Trevor Kidd was the first goalie. I think Brodeur ran around 19 or 20. So it tells you that the draft is not an exact science, but I like that you guys get to draft from the exact science because we can look back 33 years later. So
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
We're all a lot smarter with hindsight. Yeah.
So
you were right about the projections because the scouting projections Yager wasn't even in the top 10, and the goalie projections Kidd was projected, I think, the top there.
So Pittsburgh went off the board a bit then.
Yeah,
and kind of behind the Iron Curtain because 1990, right? Nedved had to defect. He defected and played in the dub. So
that's right.
So
see,
still
I
a risk.
told you, there's the list. I told you I'm not looking at the draft.
No, absolutely. I love that Yager's still playing, and that's why he can't be in the Hall of Fame in 5 years because he won't.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So Team 1 has players whose kids are in the NHL and one of them is still playing professional hockey. That's quite the feat.
I like when the lady tried to blackmail him. He's like, "Look who I just slept with." He's like, "Yeah, I'm single. I don't care."
I don't care. This is not a good story.
Good try. Good try. Yeah, that was awesome.
So you got those guys. Yeah, you're pretty much right away jumping in there. So maybe we'll just tuck back into Team 1. They're only lined up here for you in position wise. So
Team 1.
That's Tkachuk and Nedved and Yager and Moder, York and Potvin.
Okay, I like Team 1 because you got Tkachuk who can get the puck for Yager. So I like that. You got like Team 1's offense is loaded. So you got Tkachuk, Nedved, and Yager up front. You got my boy Jason Yorkie on the point. Yorkie, you'll be honored to know that you were drafted by these fine gentlemen. And you got Felix Potvin and Nets. That's a pretty good team, boys. I'm not going to lie to you.
It is.
Team 1's built like kind of like 1990 hockey because you're just going one way, right? You're going right at their goalie, right?
You're going to win a lot of games 7-5.
That's a 6-7-5, 6-5 hockey team. Yeah, I like Team 1. You want me to go through Team 2?
Sure. Sounds great.
Okay, Vyacheslav Kozlov, who probably went really late in the draft, I guess.
He did, I think.
45th, I think.
45th, okay. Dougie Waite, man, was he good, eh? Good-looking kid, too, right? Out of Hockey East, I think it was BU he played at, or BC, one of the two. Peter Bondra, wow.
500 goals.
Daryl Sador and Yuri Slager on the point with Brodeur and Net. So that team looks like it's almost built to check Team 1.
Yeah.
So, okay, I like that. All right.
And then they get Team 3 is a little tougher team, that's for sure.
Yeah. So So Team 3, you got Jeff Sanderson, he was like such a speedster, right? And you're right, guys. Now his kid Jake's playing for Ottawa.
Yeah.
God, we're old. Keith Primo, whose son is playing for Montreal, Caden.
Yeah.
Okay. Owen Nolan, don't know of his children. Can't update on his children.
No.
Owen Nolan, whoever drafted Owen Nolan gets sentimental points. As I mentioned, he did play a bit for the Halifax Citadels.
Yeah.
Look at your point. You got Zubov and Hatcher. Okay, that's my favorite defensive duo. I just did a charity tournament with Darian Hatcher in Oakville. I emceed it. So I'm going to throw that in there. Darian Hatcher, shout out. And look at this, the goalie. Okay, boys, Roman Turek. So when I was working in Calgary, Roman Turek gets traded to the Flames. This is 2001 or 2.
Hmm.
I walk in the dressing room and I remember going, what in the hell are those? His goalie pads were seriously up to my I don't know what this part of the body is, bottom of my pecs.
Your
Like,
bosom.
they were the biggest goalie pads I'd ever seen in my life, and he was really good.
Yeah.
And I think he was Belfour's backup maybe on that team that won the cup. I'm not sure. Kind of guessing there.
Not
But I don't know. But those are I'm gonna go back to your rosters here. Yeah, those are, I like that you guys have three that's cool that you kind of all have the same type of players on each team, even though you in the draft order. That's cool. But
it definitely was, the strategy was different for sure. And depending where you drafted, I think is what it was too. But D does take a sharp decline in that draft.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, there was some misses too, right? Because I think Scott Sissons went like 8 to the Islanders.
Yeah, Sissons was in. Yeah, he was, and he was highly ranked too before the draft.
Yeah, he was. That was a miss.
Yeah, that was a miss. There's always misses, right?
The ones that I was looking at were things like just an interest in the draft. Brian Sakic, 93rd pick, Joe Sakic's brother. You got Wes McCauley, who's reffing now, 150th pick in the Wings, and that was I went to school with him, so I remember when he was drafted. That was a big deal. Yeah,
Wes McCauley was drafted in that draft.
Yeah, he got drafted he went to Michigan State for hockey, and I think the Blackhawks. No, the Red Wings drafted him. And then you have John Gruden, who coaches the Marlies now, and one of my favorite names, Tim Fingerhut. I've always liked the name Tim Fingerhut as a great
I'm gonna work that
porno name.
Yeah, I'm gonna work that into a broadcast.
Yeah, you got to get that in.
That'll be our shout out from you. We'll know the code. This will be like you're pulling your ear. You're saying Tim Fingerhut.
Tim Fingerhut. Okay, so I'm trying to think of who is. So I noticed Brad May wasn't picked. So you guys didn't need an enforcer, but you're drafting only first line, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
We only had so much time,
Oh, but I love the Chuck Nedved Yager. I like that, boys. That's good.
That's a lot of goals.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, so let me go to Ricci. Didn't get drafted.
Ricci didn't get drafted, and he was the number one ranked scouted player in going into that draft. The top three according to the NHL scouting was Ricci, Nolan, and Primo. Those are the top three.
I remember as a kid watching Ricci and Lindros line up in the OHL, right? Ricci was with Peterborough, Lindros was with Oshawa.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, there's some misses. There's always misses. Oh, Nova Scotia connection. Scott Allison, 17th over by the Edmonton Oilers. Scott now lives in Halifax and is a real estate agent. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
Ran into him at the Hector Arena in Pictou about a month ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Not far from Stellarton.
We were trying to track down Joey McDonald to be on the show around last Christmas, last December. We were trying to get a goalie because there's a premise of like goalies that didn't play a lot of games but had decent years. And I said, I really want to get him. And I was out there in Stellarton. Someone said, oh, he's just roofing over there. Like, you can go get him off the roof. And so I texted him. He's like, yeah, I'm just roofing. I was like, Joe, we're trying to get you on the show here. He's like, oh, I don't know. Like, he was so shy about being on a podcast.
Joey's pretty shy. She's pretty shy.
Yeah.
Question for you, Ken, there. So no one picked Zhamnov. Would he bump any of those centers for you, Alexei Zhamnov?
Not for me, no.
No,
I don't
that's
think
a Jets
so.
fan, by the way.
That's
clear.
Nobody picked my buddy Terrence Sandwith, who went 42nd to Philadelphia, tearing 8 games in the NHL, just like my buddy Terry Ryan. There's some awesome names in this draft.
Tim Fingerhut,
Timmy Daniels. I didn't get to him yet. Bob Berg, Mike Dunham, Pat Tardif, who was ultimately traded for Wayne Gretzky. Names in here, but I'm waiting to get to Fingerhut.
I think I have his number. He's 194.
Yeah.
Gilbert Dion was in this draft. Gino Odjick, if you're looking for a toughie.
Oh yeah, Gino. Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Craig Martin from Amherst, Nova Scotia, went 98th overall to Winnipeg. If you're looking for a toughie, man, there are so many great names in this draft.
Yeah.
So did you just want an all Nova Scotia team? Was that ultimately
the
whole thing?
Craig Conroy went 123.
Wow.
This is insane, boys. This is a good draft we picked.
It is.
You picked. That was a good choice.
Look what I did. I'm so proud of myself. I haven't found Fingerhut yet.
Looking at the pre-rankings, we were talking about this earlier, but like John Slaney, 7, Ryan Hughes, 8, Carl Dykhouse, 9.
Yep.
Then Darian Hatcher was 10th. And then goaltending, the ranks were Kidd, Potvin, Brodeur.
I never understood the Slaney thing, why he didn't take off. I mean, he wasn't the biggest guy, but I guess when you're looking through the eyes of when we're younger, he's had that big goal at the World Juniors, so you automatically think he's going to be awesome. But that one moment makes a moment, but it doesn't make a career, you know.
Yeah. Well, Mike has a good point when we were talking about this. Like, it depends where you end up in the situation. So you could go to a team that totally needed you, and we know how it is in all sports. In baseball, it's like you're a shortstop with the all-stars ahead of you, you're going nowhere, and you could just be out of baseball before you develop. So,
Mike, you nailed it, because what if you're the best shortstop ever and you get drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in 1983?
That's right. Or you're a great quarterback and you go to, your first overall pick in the NFL and you go to a horrible team.
Yeah.
Like that has no infrastructure and bad coaching and a bad culture. You can't be good enough to carry all that.
That's saying the Browns. Point. You're saying the Browns. Just to be clear, you're saying the Browns, right, Mike?
Because Slaney, Newfoundland great Slaney's drafted by the Caps, 1990, and on the point they got Kevin Hatcher, Al Iafrate, and I want to say Kim Johnson. Those three hold this really weird record. They were either the only or the last set of defensemen to get 20 plus each. So the three of them each scored 20 plus. Imagine that happening. So Slaney, if he's trying to break in as a young offensive defenseman, he's trying to crack that. That ain't going to happen.
No,
especially if you're an offensive defenseman too. Oh man, no.
Yeah, that's a good record. I do a lot of MC stuff with Al Iafrate, and we always bring that up. Like there's these weird little records that'll never be broken. That's one of them. So that may be why John Slaney. And then around, trying to think, 3 or 4 years later, they drafted Nolan Baumgartner, who was kind of the same kind of player, really gifted offensive defenseman out of the Western League. Didn't happen for Nolan either. So you're right. Situations, boys.
Yeah.
Just
getting your chance to play.
Yeah, if I was drafted by like like Channel 10 Pictou County back in the day, I couldn't have broken through.
No, you wouldn't have gone on to the glorious career you've had.
The timing was off,
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You got to get your reps behind the desk there, Ken, and you got no chance.
Got to get your reps, man. It's all about the reps.
Imagine if
I would do anything except call bingo.
There. Oh, well, there you go. Right. Perfect. Yeah.
I was asked.
You drew the line?
Yeah, seriously. I was working at Channel 10 in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and I would do anything. And they go, oh, they'd like you to call bingo. And I was like,
not anything.
I never said no, because I look at this as an educational experience. 2 years paid grad school. I don't want to be the bingo guy. I just can't. Can't do the bingo.
For a long time at Second City and behind the scenes, like there was a sort of bingo empire that was feeding money into the Second City, the theater. And they started to then, at the new facility, they had bingo calling. So there would be a person live in Toronto calling for all the different bingo halls throughout Ontario or whatever for this bingo empire. And they came by
Second City.
Yeah. And they came by one night with the cast and said, there's jobs, guys. You can call bingo and then come down and do the show. And then, and it's like the same thing. I got to draw the line.
But as an actor, like, part of me thinks the fun I could have had with it, like just taking her right off the rails,
Well, if you've ever watched Better Call Saul, he does a good job of that.
He does do a bit.
Takes his bingo off the rails.
True. I was just trying to think what show that.
Yeah, he took his bingo off the rails. So, were you at the Second City right behind Gretzky's restaurant?
The one that was across the street when Mercer used to be across the street on Blue Jays Way, the Megaplex before they moved over. Right. That's where they would call bingo on the weekends, and they offered it the hot job to the cast at Second City if they wanted to call bingo. And I went by there one night and saw the person calling it, and they were all smiles while they were calling it, and then the saddest look in the world when it went to break. It was like,
yeah. Now the question is, did they pay scale, or was it just like
probably not. They probably handed you $20 when you walked out.
Yeah, if they paid scale, maybe. But see, my bingo calling, that would have just got me the regular $8 an hour I was making at the time. So
basically, it's kind of like that bowling for dollars kind of vibe, like the old 70s bowling for dollars. Oh God.
Yeah. So our Channel 10 had bowling too, and Kylie will know about this because in Pictou we always watched the guy, and there'd be a pin rolling. He'd be like, ah! And he'd call it, like he'd yell at the pins. It was awesome. It was from the Heather Lanes in Glasgow, Nova Scotia. Yeah. And I worked construction with the guy's brother, and we'd be like, is your brother the guy who calls the bowling? Like, we'd be all impressed, right?
I just think like so many of those small town channels are gone, and it's so sad. And when you were a kid, you made fun of it, and when you're an adult, you're just nostalgically like wishing that kind of TV was on the air now.
It is beyond sad that community television has died off, and even the community television that's out there now, no offense to it, but it's good.
Yeah,
like it's produced well. Back in the day, it was awesome. It was just like, all right, we got a camera, go. We don't know what's gonna happen. You know,
somebody's nephew got a show.
Yep.
Oh yeah, kind of nice.
That was the Winnipeg world. I want to just quickly quiz Matt, because Matt and I were in Winnipeg in the 90s. Matt, number one star of the VPW local channel in Winnipeg, who was your favorite star?
What's his name? The guy who had the music on there.
Johnny Sizzle.
Johnny Sizzle.
Wow. Johnny
he was
Sizzle.
a gem for Winnipeg. And Math with Marty, that was always fun.
Wow. Yeah, we had my big, we used to prank call it, my brother and I.
Of course.
And they'd be like, K-Vision, we'd be like, hang up. But we had a guy, Bob Curley, who ended up being one of our dad's buddies. So my brother goes to Acadia and he meets this guy, Rob Curley, and his dad's Bob Curley. My brother's like, your dad's Bob Curley. He hosts Christmas Daddies. It was awesome. Bob Curley is the man. The man.
Yeah. Well, Christmas Daddies continues, that continues, that tradition out there in Nova Scotia. I love that we're now going into community television. We'll have the best community television draft next time.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Kenny Reid, you got to decide. This is the three teams you laid out before you. 1990 NHL Draft. I know it's a tough decision. What team would you say?
Time.
It is
decision time. Okay, I'm going to go back to your lists, and I've lost them. Where are they? Hold on. I will get them.
Probably just pick me then.
Got them. Okay, boys. After much consternation, I don't even know if that's a word. After much thought, I love offensive hockey with a little bit of grit, right? So I'm going to go with good old team number one, because you got Jágr, who's a joy to watch, Tkachuk, who can mix it up, Nedved, who was just beauty. 1994 Canadian Olympian, by the way.
That's right.
Modry and York on the point. So Yorkie was steady, and you got Felix and net. So whoever drafted team one, sincere congratulations. That doesn't mean you're the best. It just means you put it together the way I like it.
There we go. All right. Well, that's my Christmas present this year.
Oh, that's your team?
Yeah, that's it. Team one. I mean,
oh my God.
Definitely getting Jágr obviously is massive. Brodeur is still obviously an easy consolation second pick, but I think that's a huge tough one.
When did you take Tkachuk?
Second pick.
Yeah, I think he was like the fourth. I think anybody would have taken him fourth there, right? Like,
yeah. See, that's the Tkachuk one's the one that puts it over the edge for me, because I like my hockey with a little bit of grit. But boys, you're all winners. Come on, we live in a sensitive society. I'd like to give you all ribbons.
Yeah, we all have a ribbon. That'd be great.
Yeah. There are no losers in society. And remember, we teach our children that you're all winners.
Yeah.
And life is very fair. Life's very fair.
You tried.
I think that's how Keith Tkachuk raised his kids too. Guys, just participate. Don't have to be the best.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they're successful, is because they.
Yeah, we're all winners here.
I'm not making fun of anything here just for a second. I just want to say I'm like doing renovations and I'm hiding in my bedroom right now. Your backdrop looks like everything your wife doesn't want in the rest of the house.
That is absolutely correct. You got the keyboard Uncle Peter gave to Langdon. You got the drums that the kids play, and you got all my sports stuff. This is absolutely the only area of the house that I'm comfortable in. However, what you can't see is all the freaking kids' toys. Like, all I want is a man room. It's all I want. I just want a place, and I don't have one. Like, this is kind of one, but the kids have taken it over. So my wife renovates houses, and this is going to sound very spoiled. So we have a place in Prince Edward County, and I said, just listen, just give me a man room in. Okay, no problem. So the man room in Prince Edward County is the foyer upstairs with a giant light coming in. I'm like, you can't watch TV with a glaring light on the TV, and there's no doors. Like, there's not even an enclosure. I'm like, my man room can't be the hallway. I'm like, one day I'm gonna get there, boys. One day, but it's certainly not now. Yeah, this is just the beautiful mess, isn't it?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Mike and you are in the same room, just in different angles with all your
different.
Yeah, because Mike, you got the Willie Mays picture there. A lot of respect. Is that autographed by Willie Mays?
It is. It might be the most valuable thing I own.
So I have that picture as well, but it's not down here.
Right.
But
You got
yeah,
Bobby
like
Orr
right
back
here.
there.
This is I got my baseball now. There's Andre Dawson. Right.
Oh,
Very
nice.
There's
Nice.
Andre Dawson again. There's
Yeah.
Tim
Oh,
Raines. Gary
Nice.
Carter, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Mike might be just over there.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
This
I
is
bought it
this
in
is this
Cooperstown like 15 years ago.
this is
Oh,
the
really?
this is
Yeah.
the story to that picture that I'll tell you, Kenny, and Mike's not saying it, but he got that for his dad, and his dad was too overwhelmed with emotion to accept it, so he gave it back to Mike.
Truth.
Who overwhelmed? That's the greatest gift ever.
I thought so too. It's my dad's favorite player, obviously, because generationally it was perfect timing, and he just couldn't handle it.
Holy shit!
He just couldn't take it. So it ended up in my house, where it would have ended up eventually anyway.
Sure.
But my idea was that it was like a gift for my old man. But
and then the next year, because you were onto something, you're like, I'm going to give him a picture of my favorite band. He's like, who the hell's Rem? And he gave that back to you.
This is not autographed, though.
No, who the hell's Rem?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, Mike, that would mean you have an April Wine poster somewhere up in your house?
No, not likely.
Oh no!
Oh, here we go.
Oh no, Mike, you're gonna hate this.
Oh no, he's gonna have autographed.
Yeah.
April Wine,
or he just doesn't come back.
There we go.
There it is.
My all-time favorite Canadian band by far.
Amazing.
No offense to Sandbox. Love you, Sandbox.
Sandbox. April Wine was my first concert. I went with my old man when I was 13 at the CNE at the band shell there that used to be at Exhibition Stadium.
That's the beauty of April Wine is they were everybody's first concert. Like
Sure.
they are the best. I was like, when Miles passed, that hit me in the gut. Last couple of years, I've been fortunate to I do a golf tournament in Summerside, PEI every year, and Miles is always a guest. So my wife walked down the aisle to "I'm on fire for you, baby." So I got this signed for her by Miles.
Nice.
So Miles signed it to my wife, and Miles was awesome. He was such a terrific guy. And boys, you're gonna love this. I got to introduce Miles Goodwin on stage, and then the next year he's like, "Kenny, you intro me again. You nailed that last year." I'm like,
oh wow.
Yeah, that's huge.
Damn right. So
And you and I just really connected there. That was amazing.
Well, we both like to rock, Mike.
We do.
We're in the same room.
Yeah.
Some like it hot.
Yeah.
I like. I always had a version of that. There was a Kate Breton version of "I Like to Rock." I like to rock. Jimmy likes it. Malcolm likes it. Fitzgerald likes it. You know. I like it. You like it.
I think it's fair to say that "Could Have Been a Lady" was a very popular strip club song for a very long time, and in many Canadian stories are like, a guy goes home from the strip club totally depressed because he fell in love with a stripper, and he just listened to that song over and over and over again out in the prairies somewhere.
Oh yeah, Canadian content in the peelers, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you have to have Canadian content, of course. The strip club,
dude, there's so many great tunes. They had so many. Like my brother and I had a theory, and this happened after Miles got the East Coast Music Awards Lifetime Achievement in 2003. We're like, they sing that, because that's when I really got into April Wine. Because you'd always hear her on the radio, and I have a theory, and it's if you hear an awesome song on Canadian radio and you don't know who it is, it's April Wine. The same applies to Sloan, because so many people love April Wine, but they don't know it's April Wine. Same with Sloan.
Yeah.
Well,
this is a big Sloan group. These three.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I really think Sloan has like 12 or 13 records. I honestly, if you put a sort of their 50 greatest songs together, I think it matches up with any band ever.
Absolutely.
And I'm not being hyperbolic because they're Canadian. I really think that.
I think Sloan's a great band. Just don't hang out with them.
So Chris Murphy, I don't know if Murphy will remember this, but my buddy Kevin Hilliard, he's their merch guy, and one time he played in Grace Babies. So he said that Murphy gave the blessing that I'm the official sportscaster of Sloan. So
perfect. That's perfect for you. That's perfect for you.
Cool.
Hey,
Cool.
Great band. I mean, this is a Sloan fan club in here for sure. But
I'd like to think I'm the official sportscaster of April Wine too, because
you definitely are.
I always work the vino. I work the vino into my sportscast as many times. Who's the guy? Finger Hut?
Tim Fingerhut. Yeah.
I work April Wine in a lot, and I'll work on getting Tim Fingerhut in there.
Yeah, 194th pick by the Pens in the 1990 draft.
Tim like tell Colby Armstrong about that.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Kenny, thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Boys, this has been a blast. Enjoy Stellarton.
Remember the book, Hometown Hockey Heroes? Those of you who are just listening, I'm holding it up. And
I didn't tell you my Stellarton story.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Let's take it.
Okay. So, by the way, Stellarton is where the Pictou Schoolboy Hockey League took place. We played high school hockey in Stellarton at the old Stellarton Memorial Rink every Friday night. It was a gong show. 1989 to 1992 high school hockey. You figured if you hit somebody, one of the ladies might be impressed. So I wasn't tough enough to hit anybody, and I wasn't good enough to score any goals. So that's why I didn't have a girlfriend in high school. So my crowning moment of glory in Stellarton is I'm at a Pictou Mariners game, and my number gets called for shoot to win between the second and third period. Okay. The Mariners all come out on the bench, and I snipe from center ice into one of the corners and win $50.
Whoa.
Off the ice I go. I'm like 11 years old. I'm giving all high fives to all the Mariners, including Teapot.
Nice.
From the book. So that's an exclusive for you guys because it's not in the book. So there.
That's right. They didn't make the book. There's
that's awesome.
There's Teapot for the visuals there. There's Kenny's the Lobster Festival. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Sweet mustache.
Stellarton's known for Sam's Pizza.
Yep.
And the Stellarton Memorial Rink. So heartburn and hockey. That's what it's known for. Sam's Pizza is the best.
Well, Matt, you went to my wedding at Pictou Lodge and you saw the band.
Married at Pictou Lodge.
Oh yeah, me and Kyle are married. You married there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No way.
And, if it was good enough for Babe Ruth to stay there, why wouldn't you get married there?
Damn right.
But the band at our wedding was Caustic, and we saw them at the Stellarton homecoming and said, "Those guys will play our band. They'll play our wedding. Those guys are our wedding." Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow. And they open with
favorite part
with Matt.
What's that?
What song do they open with?
Oh, Caustic. Oh gosh.
At a wedding, no other song before it. Cat Scratch Fever. Ted
Nugent.
Oh,
nice.
And right away, my relatives were like, "What the hell is this?" And I had to tell them to tone it down for the second half.
We're taking this wedding right off the rails. I love it.
Eddie's favorite gift from me at his wedding wasn't it the day after, like the day after the wedding? Yeah. Get up. What's the first thing I told you? Do you remember this?
You told me my starting running back had been injured for the season about 4 minutes ago in my fantasy football team. I was like, thanks, guy. Day after my wedding, you destroyed my life.
Great start. Great start. Did you say the name of the band was Cockstick?
Caustic.
Oh my God. I thought you said Cockstick. I'm like, that's a cool name.
I wish I got Cockstick, but it was
Tim. It's a great wedding band name.
Tim Fingerhut is the lead singer of Cockstick.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Caustic. Oh,
that's a sticker from Sandy's wedding.
Nice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a Caustic thing, and I have an April wine.
This is perfect.
I got the Rem.
Yeah, you got the Rem going on.
You got Rem. Sandy, you have no band back there?
No, just a skull on the wall.
Just a Texas.
That's pretty cool. Skull on the wall.
That's it. Kenny, thank you so much. We can't thank you enough for doing this right before Christmas. So have a great holiday.
You too. Merry Christmas, boys. And I would love to do this again. This has been fun. I do a lot of these podcasts, pumping the book. This is up there, boys. We
appreciate that. So think about what you want to challenge us with next time for the next draft, and we'll have you on back.
Probably arm wrestling, but you can't do that over Zoom, can you?
No, you try.
Funny.
All right, Kenny. Thanks so much.
See you, fellas.
That was a ton of fun. Mike is just mad. No, I think it's just too much jammed off talk in one night, I think.
Too much nog. It's the holiday episode.
Too much nog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandy, it's the color, your blazer there.
Thank you.
I was going to call it your blouse, but your blazer. I think the colors are throwing Mike off.
Mike, you got a lovely blouse on tonight.
My retinas are blue.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Well, hey, listen, if you celebrate it, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. We're going to see you on the tail end of the holidays. We'll be back for a New Year's Eve special. Next time up, I'm Sandy Jobin Bevins.
I'm Matt Kippen.
I'm Mike Shera.
That's Frank over there.
And is that Captain America in the
red hat? Yes, my disguise. You got me. Yeah. This has been This Day in Sports for December 22nd.